Here are some of my thoughts on writing and life for December 2025. I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting lately, pondering, thinking about how things were, how they are, and how I hope they will be in the future. And not just for me, but for my country and the world. This introspection has two causes. The first is that due to my no cartilage remaining left knee, my activity level has been necessarily restricted, leaving me not much else to do but sit and think. They tell me that post-surgery, I will be so happy I opted for a knee replacement, and I have to hope they're right because I'm not very happy right now. The second is because I've been rereading How We Learn to Be Brave, Decisive Moments in Life and Faith by Marianne Edgar Buddy, the bishop and spiritual leader of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, D.C., and the Washington National Cathedral. She gained a great deal of attention first in June 2020 during President Trump's photo shoot in front of St. John's, when, as she wrote in her book, I took issue with the president's misappropriation of sacred symbols and with the order to forcibly remove hundreds of peaceful protesters in Lafayette Square Park to clear the way for the president's photo op. Subsequently, on January 21st, 2025, at the prayer service at Washington National Cathedral, she implored him to have mercy on the people in our country who are scared now. I bought the book because something in what she said resonated with me, and I keep it on my nightstand for those times in the dark of the night when I need to find encouragement. The first three chapters are deciding to go, deciding to stay, and deciding to start. And each explores the concept with examples from her life, the lives of well-known and some not so well-known people, and quotes from religious and secular books. And those chapters made me think of other moments of decision that we face, personally and professionally. The first is deciding to be vulnerable. At a personal level, we choose to make ourselves vulnerable when we enter into relationships or rekindle connections that in the past brought us heartache, pain, and disappointment. Professionally, as writers, we decide to be vulnerable at each step of the creative process. When we first start writing, when we share our work with those close to us, and when we finally put it out there in the world. At any point in that journey, we run the risk of being insulted, misunderstood, rejected, criticized, you name it, and it can happen. And we also have to cope with the very real danger from within, that insidious voice that whispers, "You're not a good writer. You have nothing of value to offer. You're just a hack." It takes a great deal of courage to be vulnerable, to expose our writing and ultimately ourselves to the world, not knowing how it and we will be received. I think of writers I know who are afraid to do interviews or in-person events because they don't think they can handle the negative responses they are certain are coming their way. And yet, if we don't become vulnerable, if we don't take that creative risk, we're robbing ourselves of what might be very encouraging and positive reactions. And we're robbing the world of words that might be just what people need to read at a moment when they most need them. The second is the courage to stand our ground. In our personal relationships, this may be when we are faced with a friend or family member who demands that we change the way we are, what we believe in, or how we live our lives. The choice is essentially their way or the highway. If we choose to stand our ground, we may be cut out of our family or rebuffed by our friends, but if we acquiesce to their demands, we lose ourselves in the process. As writers, standing our ground may mean rejecting an offer from a publisher that comes with requirements to alter our work in such a way that it is no longer true to our creative vision. Or it can mean refusing to write a piece that goes against our journalistic integrity because those who sign our paychecks have been coerced by someone in power or their own lack of ethical standards. Standing our ground can also mean choosing to publish a work that we know may be controversial or not as lucrative because we believe in it so strongly. I realize that as writers, the decision to stand our ground or choose to be vulnerable isn't an easy one to make, and both come at a cost: financial, emotional, psychological, or some combination of all three. And given how precarious the writing life can be, it is understandable why some may choose to go along to get along, or because they are afraid of the outcome should they rock the boat. These are choices each writer must make individually, understanding the risks and rewards that come with them. No one can or should tell us what to do or what to write. That is our decision alone. But as we're considering our options, we need to remember that the power of words is significant, and the impact of what we write can be far-reaching. If we believe that, then we will have the courage to be brave in our writing life.